What's going on, guys? Miguel here, back again, Mix Tactical. So we're gonna talk about my experience with Turners, right? I know Turners gets a lot of flack online and their reviews. I mean, even if you check out the reviews, like pretty much all, not all bad, but pretty much bad. I'll post it here somewhere. So this is it's like Santa Clarita, or for me, it's either Santa Clarita or Reseda. I wish there was one that would be on the west side of town. I don't know, towards the Burbank area, but I mean, I think there is one actually. I think it's in Glendale. I'm not sure, but either way. So most of what is the things that most of the time gets said that is bad about these stores? Well, it's the customer service, right, or the long wait times, right? All right, so I think that can be solved by one. Well, let's just go with this. Why is there long wait times? Well, you got to remember that each interaction, there's either two or three interactions happening with when someone's being helped at these stores, right? One, the looky loo, like the guy or girl that doesn't know what they want, or they're just looking around, or they're just like tire kickers. They're not really here to buy. They're just, or they don't know what they want. They just want to get the gun. They just want to look at them, or they want to look at a couple, right? So that's going to take some time. Or there's the other one where this guy knows what he wants, and now he has to take the FSC card test. He has to do, if the gun is on the in-house, the paperwork and all that stuff that comes with it. Or there's three, someone's picking up a handgun. So pretty much, at least in my experience, I've been through each one of those experiences, right? But each experience takes at least 30 to 45 minutes. So if there's only 5 workers and they're doing one of those 3 things more than likely, or the fourth one is someone's buying ammo. So each of those interactions takes like 30 to 40 minutes. So you got to also keep that in mind, that the wait time is long only because there's only so much we can do, or they can do, with a customer at a certain pace, because if it's the first one where they don't know what they want, or they're just looking around, they just want a whole different types of guns to see what they want, there's only so much they can do with showing them the handguns, swapping out the handguns, doing this or that. And then if they're doing one of the other 3 things, buying ammo, doing the initial paperwork, getting the FSC card, picking up a handgun, they have to stay with that customer at all times. So even if they're doing their test, they can't just, okay, here you go, take the test, here's the instructions, blah blah blah. They have to wait for that person to be done, because if they go ahead and call another number while that person's taking the test, they can only help you for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then they have to go back to help that guy finish up the test and do the paper and start the paperwork. So they have to wait until that person finishes the test to start the next step. So yeah, so either way, I think that's what contributes to it. But the other thing I think contributes to it is that, at least at the Reseda one, when you buy ammo, you have to first wait in line, right? Talk to, get your number called, talk to the guy, and then pick out the ammo, do the fingerprint, all that stuff, and then you have to go. Then he or she of the employee has to walk it over to the cashier, and then pay and all that stuff. I don't know why they don't just have a cash register over at the gun area, so they can just buy your ammo and leave. Like, even with the gun process, you have to work with the employee. Then they have to give you the paperwork, which is like, paying the deposit or paying it in full with the DROS and all that fees. Then you have to go to the cashier on the other end of the store, pay for that, go back to the box, like go back to the table and stuff like that. So I think that maybe if they just added another register there, it would be, shave off some time. But yeah, so my experience, right? My experience buying my handgun at Turner's compared to other stores. So yeah, so it was pretty easy. So like it was 4 interactions to get the handgun. Technically 3. The first one is I was just driving. I had dropped off my wife at her sister's, and I was going home. And on the way home, I saw that there's a Turner's there, And I was like, you know what? Let me check this out. I want to go see what kind of gun I want. I didn't know what I wanted. It wasn't until see, now it was that first one. I didn't know what I wanted. I mean, I knew what I wanted, but I didn't know what I wanted. I knew I wanted. I had my mind set on a Ruger Max 9, mainly for the price. You know, I was like, I wasn't really trying to spend that much money on it. So it was really for the price, but it wasn't. You know, I was there. I tested out some Glocks. For some reason, I didn't like the Glock that much. I really liked the. I think it's because it was bigger, you know, and like it's not that it didn't feel well in my hands, but when it fit with the Ruger Max 9, the Ruger felt better in my hands. So I was going off of that. That's why I was just really still stuck on the Ruger. But then I went to another local gun store where I was, you know, seeing the two different guns, and then the cashier or the guy that was helping me was like, well, what are you going to use this gun for primarily? And I told him, well, honestly, it's me. Yeah, obviously it'll be for home defense because it's. I mean, if it's, I'm gonna have it at the house, you know, it might as well be for home defense. But primarily, it was for the range. Like I just want to go to the range, you know, train, not train, but you know, train accuracy and all that. He was like, well, I think you should go with the Glock 19 because it's bigger. It's gonna be a little bit more accurate. It's easier to shoot, or a little bit more, less like fatigue to shoot, opposed to like a smaller handgun like the Ruger Max 9. Because I think the Ruger is like a 3.5 barrel. So either way, yeah. So my first interaction with them in the Santa Clarita area, you know, I was there. The guy was pretty helpful. He showed me a couple guns, and then when he when I was asking him about the test, he kind of helped me out. Like he answered like some simple questions that were um, typically that I didn't know changed. Like he said, how old do you have to be to buy a handgun? I said 18. He's like, no, it's changed. It's actually 21 now. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, you know, what's the safe, what, like, what's the safe direction to point the handgun or point the gun? You know, instinctively, I just said, because he didn't like lay out the choices. He just said, it was just for me to just off the top of my head just say what I think, and I just said point down. He's like, no, because your circumstances will change depending where you're at. Because if you point down, you know, what if you're on a boat, or what if you're, you know, it's a concrete floor, it could ricochet or stuff like that. So technically, it's pointing at any safe direction, essentially, direction. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then he was like, I was like, well, can I just take the test? I was like, I mean, I'm already here, I'm about to leave. Um, I'll just take the test, but I don't have to buy a gun today, right? He's like, no, you don't have to. You just if you just want to take the test, you can just take the test. So I was like, all right, cool. So I took the test, got 29 out of 30, and yeah. So he was just like, all right, cool. So that's pretty much it. And I was like, all right, man, thank you so much, appreciate it. And I left. That was cool. Like I didn't really wait too long. Guy was pretty nice. He wasn't mean. He wasn't a dick or anything. So yeah. So then my second interaction was I knew I wanted to buy the gun already, so I was like, all right, cool. Let me go to the store, and I asked them. I called before I went, and I said, I just wanted to verify the sales price. I was like, do you have Glock 19s in stock right now that I can get for 519? The guy said yes. So I was like, all right, bet I'll go after work. So I went after work. I get there, and they had Glock 19s, but they weren't like stock like Glock 19s. They were just, one was like a Gucci Glock, and like it had like a red badass red dot, had like um, the slide was aftermarket, had a TRL7 on it, had a bunch of shit, which was like, it was like 2200 or something like that. And then they had another Glock 19 that had the night sights on it, which came out to like 589. I was like, I don't want that. I just want the 519 one. So then I was like, well, I mean, how do I lock in that price for 519? Because it was the last day of their sale. Unbeknownst to me, they were going to do a Glocktoberfest, so it would have been the same price. I didn't have to necessarily buy it that day, but whatever. So he was like, oh, we have to ship it from the warehouse. It'll be here on Monday. I was like, all right, cool. I don't care. I can still start the paperwork, right? No, you can't start the paperwork until the gun is physically on site. I guess because like the serial number and stuff. So I was like, all right, whatever. So yeah, so then I had to wait. I paid the deposit that day, like the DROS fees, and then the deposit for the handgun. So I had to wait till Monday. So Monday I went back. It was the third interaction now. Technically the second to buy the gun, but it's the third in the whole process. So then I was like, all right, cool. I went. The guy was super cool. He was went through the whole paperwork, showed me the gun, did the safety demonstration test, and then did all that fun stuff. And then that was pretty much it. After that, waited my 10 days. Went the next time. The next time I went, on the 10th day, it was cool. I got an older gentleman. This is all in the Reseda location. Older gentleman. He was pretty chill. There is one guy though that I did notice. I don't know his name. There is one guy who's kind of like a dick. I don't know if that's just the way he interacts with people or just the way he is in general. But he is kind of like when I noticed that when he was working with like older people, he was more of a dick to them when they weren't like understanding what he was saying or when he wasn't explaining it. The way he was explaining it, they didn't get it or whatever. So he was kind of a dick. So I can kind of see it there. But either way, the last time I went to pick it up, super easy. Bought my ammo, paid the rest of the balance, and yeah, it was pretty easy, no problems. Everybody that I worked with was super cool. But yeah, all in all, my Turner's experience was good. I don't have any issues with them. It's not as fast as if you go to like a mom and pop operation or just a smaller gun store. Like when I went to Burbank Guns and Ammo, I was just in and out. Like I go in there, grab my ammo, they did their part, and I left. So it was super easy, in and out. I've been to 2 gun stores where they showed me some handguns, and again, wait time is a little bit longer there, only because in these mom and pop ones, there's only 1 or 2 employees working there. So if it's like there's a lot of people in the store, which I haven't seen at local small mom and pop operations. Most people really just go to big box stores, honestly, from what I've seen, compared to the mom and pop ones. But I get it. Big box stores, their prices are typically better, but you never know. You got to price around. For guns, at least, it's typically better. Ammo for me has been cheaper at local mom and pop shops opposed to big box stores, unless there's a sale going on like at Turner's. Ammo's a little bit cheaper at local gun stores. But yeah, so I don't know. Hope you guys like this review of Turner's. What's your experience been like? Drop it down below in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, till the next one. Peace.